may remember a few weeks ago I said my Pentel Aquash pen, one of them had completely seized up. Well, I fixed it. Yay! I'm going to show you how I fixed it. Now, I'm also going to show you how to clean it as well, because I didn't realise that these completely come apart until I tried it the other day. So you're going to need a pokey tool or something with a long, actually a crochet hook works better if you've got a very, very, very tiny crochet hook, and a pair of tweezers. Inside here it's got kind of a little bit that sticks up. Now first of all, if your pen is just not squishing, get your pokey tool, push it down into that hole in the middle and just press very gently. There's a little, you'll see in a minute, there's a little pip in that hole that you can change the flow, and if you push it down you will automatically fix any issues you've got with this not happening. See, I couldn't get any air through it before. If you've been unfortunate enough to get something like gouache stuck up in your bristles, you can actually take all this apart. The brush is about this long and you can take it all out, soak it in hot water and clean it, and it comes out. And because they're nylon bristles, you can even soak them in boiling water if you've got something like acrylic on, and then once it cools just peel it off. But I don't recommend you use them for acrylic. I only ever use the very tips for a bit of acrylic. You want to get your tweezers and get hold of that thing in the middle there, which is a bit tricky actually, and eventually it will just pop out. I seem to remember I used my pokey tool. It's a bit fiddly and you need to be careful that you don't break it, obviously. I think I've put this one back in too well. It's not going to come out. There we go. There we go, it pops out like that. So this is the offender, this little white thing. Don't lose the little white thing, whatever you do. This little white thing is what causes the problem, because this is a solid piece of plastic. It's actually a tube with something in the middle of it. Can you see there? Okay, and that fits into that hole there. Like so. Okay, and on the other side, this is the bit you can see from inside the pen. You can see there's the hole that the water goes through. Now if that bit of white stuff is pushed too far up, it blocks that hole and no water or air can escape. So don't forget to knock that back down when you put your brush back together. Here's the rest of the brush, and quite simply just push very gently, and this whole thing, there's your brush and there's your nozzle, and it's got a little bit of sponge. Don't lose your bit of sponge, you need that. With the fine one I actually had to pull the sponge back down the nozzle, down here, to get to get this back in and then pull it back up. So you can clean all this, slide that back in, pull the sleeve back up, try not to break it like I just did. They're easy enough to replace anyway. Pull your brush down, not too tight, but just so it's snug, so it's a snug fit. That then goes back down into your brush pen. And I just used the other end of my pokey tool to just push it down. It just clicks into place, so there's the, you know, you can't push it in too hard. Just make sure that's all in there, yep. And then make sure your white bit is in, very important. Drop that back in, and it's a bit fiddly. You'll need your, again, you'll need your tweezers. Flat tweezers work best for this. And just push that down as far as it'll go. Then grab your pokey tool, stick it in the hole, and make sure that white bit is pushed down flush with the brush. flush with the brush. Put your brush back together and you should now be able to squeeze your brush easily. I have the same problem with this one. Put that lid back on before I lose it. This one, it doesn't squeeze properly. So, let's take this one apart as well. Loosen this up. Oh, actually I don't need to take it apart because I don't need to clean it. I'm just going to push that little button down. So in that hole, push it down gently. You don't need to stick it so hard that you get your pokey tool stuck in it. Just enough to create a little bit of a gap. Put it back together and now it squeezes properly like it's supposed to. Ta-da!